Okay, welcome back. We're going to look at the individual objects here we have with the different pivot points. We've already done that. We've got the core of the model kind of centered to the ground, the feet are on the ground. If I look at it from the different orthographic viewports, it's pretty much centered from the side. It's centered from the front view. Let's see if I turn off X-ray mode, might help a little bit more now that we're being able to see. There we go. And then hit F, 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 and F. There we go. And what we want to do now is we want to look at combining these together. So I'm going to go to Q so that I don't actually move, rotate, or scale anything. Marquee drag all the way across. Remember, you can grab a single piece, Control Shift, and carefully add your selection as well. And this way, as you click on an object, if you click and you were to push it a little bit, that's why you don't want to be in Move, Rotate, or Scale, because you could do little micro movements, rotations and scales accidentally. So you want to make sure you're in Q is your kind of safety key for selecting things, or just do one big marquee drag across. Okay, once you do that, underneath the mesh pull down, you have combine and separate and booleans and some other things here. You also have the edit mesh pull down here and the mesh tools here. We'll get into some of those. I prefer though just to use the model toolkit pieces down here, right? But for now, let's look at the combine feature. So if I go mesh and combine, what it's going to do is it's going to combine them, all of the models, and it's going to find an average pivot point. So if I go to the move button, this is the average center of all pieces selected. So whenever I do that, I have to afterwards go D and then get to a good rotation angle, about a quarter turn sideways and a quarter turn down is a nice way to see all three pivots. So that I can then go D to move the pivot. And remember, I can align it to wherever I want. Or I just hold down X, grab the little circle carefully, and snap that down to the ground into 0, 0, 0 world space. So it's at the center of the world. And once I got it there, I want to freeze the transformations and I want to delete the history from the channel box, which shows what inputs have been put into the model. So I'm going to delete the history. There we go. It's good to go. Let's go into the outliner and we'll call this box person. Or let's go box biped underscore 01. And I'm going to save that name, copy. And what I can do now is I can actually take this model, export it, and rig it and animate it in Mixamo, and it'll actually work pretty good. Before I do that, let's make a copy of it. So I'm just going to duplicate it, and I'm going to take the original one here, hold down X and the little X and Z combo button here, and I'm going to just push it off to the side. So if you save something, let's say I want to accessorize this character. Um, you could start playing around with some of the other different primitive shapes. So I could go here to a cone and click and drag, and then click, drag, and pull up again. There we go. I have a nice little cone, and we can bring that up to the top of the model. There we go, and F on the keyboard to get it functionally better. Now I can play with the settings in the attributes here. So if I go here to attributes, I can go to the polycone, and we can play with the base width. Here's the height segments. We can give it some cap segments, which are actually underneath. If I go to X-ray mode, you can see a little bit better. There's the cap segments. You usually want to keep everything nice and low poly as you're initially blocking something in. Here's the actual height right here, and here's the radius that I was looking for. So I want the cone to go like over the top of his head. Let me turn X-ray mode back off again. There we go. And I can bring this up. Now, after I got the sides that I want, if I hit D and then V, that will snap to the vertex. I can pull that circle down and it'll snap to that vertex. And now my movement gizmo is at the bottom base of that hat. And so that makes it a little bit easier. And I can drag this down and I can place it on his head and get a little bit closer. I can use the 2D viewports here to zoom in and make sure that it snaps forward backward, and I can bring it down like that. And you can pipe shove, right? You can, if I go into X-ray mode, it's okay a lot of times to shove a model through one below it if it's more of a more organic type of piece. Now, even though I put the settings in here, I can go in here now and I can use the scale tool. I could scale out just on two axes this way. I can scale just on the axis that way, right? And kind of have fun with that. So it's almost like a little gnome now. Let's give them some shoes. So I'll go over here to the cylinder And oh, you give him little hands too. So I'll just click and drag a sphere. There we go. So you see the sphere has quite a few polygon spheres, 20 and 20. It's a lot of axis divisions for my super low poly character. So let's go something like 12 and 8. There we go. And if I wanted to rotate this, remember, if I bring it forward, I give them eyeballs even. Hold down J, and I can snap this 90 degrees. There we go. Bring it up here using W. And I could give them little ball circular hands. I thought after thinking about it, like, okay, let's just give them an eyeball. There we go. Scale down. If you can't see inside, go to X-ray mode, bring it back, or even hit the space bar, F, F, and F. And remember, each one has its, has its own settings. So you might have to turn X-ray mode on and off depending on what you're doing. If you have multiple objects in there, sometimes it's easier to grab more than what you want, and then use Control, and then take away what you don't want. So I just grabbed that eyeball from inside the head there, and that works pretty good. So now I can place that eyeball in there and actually position. Oh yeah, I was paused. Okay, cool. So yeah, so eyeball scale. We can flatten it down. Take a little button and just play with whatever shapes you want to add to the character with simple primitive shapes. Let's say I want to make his eyes different sizes. Just do that one. Control D, scale, bring it up a little bit. And maybe I Control Shift grab them both. Go to move. There we go. And how much you want that to press through or not, it's up to you. There we go. Let's say I want to grab the rest of this now. He's good to go. I'll do another mesh, combine, D and X, right? Make sure I'm in a position where I can easily grab the circle. If I hold D, I can grab that circle pretty easily. And X is going to let me grab it to the 0, 0, 0 world axis point. So I'll grab it, and then as I pull, I don't want to grab that handle on accident. So if I go sideways a little bit more as needed, and I can even go X-ray mode so I could see the Y, the X and the Z axis down here. So now I'm going to click on this, hold down D and X, grab the circle, and pull it down to 0, 0 world space. You turn your X-ray mode back off again. That should be good. Okay, freeze, delete the history. Should all be zeros for translate and rotate, ones for scales, good to go. And we'll do a file save scene as. We have not saved yet. We'll do our intro 2. Let's see. And we'll do this geo person. There we go. And save that. And now we're ready to take this character and rig and animate the character in the next video. We'll see you over there.